LA This Week.
It is one-stop shopping and services for victims of domestic violence. I'm Gil Reyes with more on how this new center on the campus of County USC Medical Center will help battered men, women, and children.
Lots and lots of toiletries of all kinds. I'm Anna Marcos, and we'll show you what the Human Trafficking Awareness Month Toiletry Drive is all about. Coming up.
Holy Hollywood history. I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, more on an iconic exhibit you don't want to miss.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Say your husband or spouse is abusing you. Coming forward is difficult enough, but now you have to talk to investigators, find shelter for you and your children, all while balancing work. This can be overwhelming, but a centrally located center at County USC Medical Center could drastically lighten the load. Gil Reyes has more.
Oh my God, Terry! You play with me?
Law enforcement admit they cannot arrest their way out of domestic violence.
Police officers and sheriff's deputies can do amazing things, but there are many things we can't do. And all those gaps are filled by this center.
This is just part of the new Family Justice Center on the County USC Medical Center campus.
This center is going to commit to the best medicine, the best forensics, the best investigations, the most appropriate, best prosecutions.
All from one central location, because trying to find all of these resources can be overwhelming, especially for someone suffering alone. So overwhelming that he or she often goes back to the abuser.
But when we bring people together and we have a one-stop shop, we realize people can break that cycle of violence. They can overcome their own fear. We can hold their hand, we can lift their spirit, and we can show them the direction that they deserve.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti promotes this collaboration between LA City and county government. Among the amenities here, a women's shelter. Also, office space for LAPD to interview victims and work with County USC hospital staff to best address medical, legal, as well as social needs. Again, one-stop shopping.
Something that we're doing with homelessness, where we're providing permanent supportive housing, where we are taking individuals who need shelter, but as well providing them the services on site so that they don't get lost, trying to go to different places, trying to get those services. The same concept is being applied here.
Now, we can't tell you exactly where on this campus where these facilities will be located, but we can tell you that LA's undocumented immigrants have nothing to fear by seeking help there. In fact, authorities say you will not be targeted, nor will you be turned away because of your immigration status. A planned safe haven for all. At County USC Medical Center, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The LAPD will also have 7 full-time detectives on site. County USC's Family Justice Center is patterned after a similar facility in Van Nuys. Well, can grooming products really make a difference in the recovery of sex trafficking victims? Well, Councilwoman Nury Martinez is counting on it, and she's launched a month-long toiletry drive to honor Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Anna Marcos joins us from Van Nuys with more. Anna.
Yana, you wouldn't think a little thing like shampoo could make such a big difference, but this Human Trafficking Awareness Month toiletry drive does more than just provide grooming products for former sex trafficking victims.
We have really found the need for just the basic supplies. You know, how do people go back to living a normal life after experiencing such a traumatic experience?
Councilmember Nury Martinez has been on a crusade to fight sex trafficking in her Valley district, the practice of exploiting women and often young girls for sex and money. Now Martinez has teamed up with members of 2 human trafficking victims groups for her annual Toiletry Drive, which helps mark Human Trafficking Awareness Month. It's the 3rd annual drive, but it's the first citywide call for people to donate toiletries.
They create little care packages for the young women when they get off the streets, and here's something for you to call your own and be able to, feel good about yourself again.
So just how important is a good shampoo or a little nail polish?
Self-care is very, very important. Just as a woman and as a survivor, there's nothing like taking a bath and really decompressing from the events that happened before.
For groups that handle child survivors, the little things become even more important.
So when we go out alongside law enforcement, we bring a backpack full of supplies like these, as well as journals and a blanket and a stuffed animal and coloring books. And we just, in the first 72 hours, it's really all about comfort. If we can't bathe with warm water, if we can't have soap, if we can't wash our hair for weeks or months, if we can't take care of ourselves, that's dehumanizing.
Councilmember Nury Martinez's office is taking donations until February 9th. Toiletries and donations can be dropped off at her downtown City Hall office or the council district offices in Van Nuys or Sun Valley. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And by the way, the Councilwoman is also accepting gift cards or checks from both residents and businesses. For more information, call 213-473-7006 and ask for Yvette Macias. Well, you probably heard by now about President Donald Trump's new tax plan, but how will it impact you? Rasha Goel has more on what city leaders want you to know.
President Trump's new tax bill is creating questions and discontent among California state officials and LA city officials. They are encouraging the general public to become more aware of what's at stake in the upcoming years. Here are some things they recently shared.
We see the 4 pillars of American prosperity: owning your own home, being able to get a good education, having decent health care and a decent job, all under attack from this tax bill that was passed.
President Donald Trump signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in December. The new tax bill cuts the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. The top individual tax rate will drop from the current level of 39.6% to 37%. The bill doubles the standard deduction and eliminates personal exemptions, but officials say middle-class families will take the biggest hit.
While the tax cuts for corporations were made permanent, any tax benefits for the middle class evaporates after a few years and raises their taxes.
Families making less than $30,000 a year will see a massive tax increase starting in 2021. That's an increase of 30% on LA's lowest income households.
State and local tax deductions, known as SALT, would be eliminated, which would yield $1.3 trillion in revenue for the federal government. Californians will feel the hit.
Did you know that over 6 million Californians use the SALT deduction? Now, for 100 years, Americans have been able to deduct their state and local taxes on the principle that they should not be taxed twice. Now that is gone. Instead, Californians will become an even greater donor state to Washington, D.C.
The act repeals the Obamacare tax on those without health insurance in 2019. Without the mandate, it is estimated 13 million people will drop their plans. The government would save $338 billion by not having to pay their subsidies.
When people don't have health care, they dial 911. Your firefighter paramedics become their medical providers, and then they take them to emergency rooms, which means that in many instances, when you have a call or when you may have a need for 911, our resources may not be available because they're taking care of the uninsured in relation to this new law.
According to an LA Times article, California residents pay more in taxes than any other state, $405 billion, or about 12% of all taxes paid in the country. Local officials say they are planning to hold community forums and meetings to further educate residents on the new tax bill and are encouraging everyone to attend. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The impact on the $20 trillion national debt will eventually be higher than projected. A future Congress will probably extend the tax cuts that expire in 2025. A banner year for the City of Angels when it comes to trade and tourism. To city leaders, LA's economy is looking pretty healthy. Anna Marcos has the highlights.
LA's economy, tourism, and travel all are booming, city leaders say, as they celebrate record-breaking numbers. Mayor Garcetti announced at a recent news conference that tourism shot up last year, with more than 48 million visitors, making it the 7th straight year of tourism growth. According to Garcetti, we are powering the Los Angeles economy to new heights, and he attributes it to investing boldly in jobs, opportunity, and growth. LAX and the port also broke records. The Port of Los Angeles moved more cargo in 2017 than any year in its history, while at the same time reducing port emissions and greenhouse gases. And LAX saw close to 85 million travelers pass through last year, an increase of 5% over 2017. According to Councilmember Joe Buscaino, the numbers show LA is the hottest destination for travelers. And all this happened during a year that saw federal travel bans threaten international travel. But LA launched its own Everyone is Welcome initiative to fight back. Now city leaders are looking to the future as they get ready to host the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2028, which they predict will take LA's economy to even greater heights. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
LA City numbers also show that since Garcetti took office in 2013, the city has created more than 175,000 jobs and cut unemployment by more than half. Well, whether you crave pastrami, corned beef, or matzo ball soup, Cantors is your 24-hour stop for delicious deli. As Gil Reyes reports, it's also a good time as the restaurant celebrates 70 years on Fairfax.
Heavy rain didn't stop people from standing in line outside LA's famous Cantors Deli for an anniversary meal deal.
Marvelous. Best pastrami in LA.
The Jewish-style deli recently celebrated 70 years on Fairfax, drawing longtime customers in from the rain and new customers too.
So I just flew in today from Rhode Island, and my son is staying here. And I heard about this place, I had to come.
And on this grand anniversary, a deal of a meal. To celebrate 70 years here on Fairfax Avenue, the restaurant is selling 2 of its top sandwiches for just 70 cents just for today. Yes, the pastrami Reuben, or the veggie Reuben for less than $1. It was Cantor's way of saying thanks.
My family works very hard to keep the place running, and we're just, we're happy to be here, and Fairfax has been a great street for us.
Alex Canter is part of the new generation, taking the family business to the next level by expanding online food deliveries through Grubhub and DoorDash. Cantor's opened in Los Angeles in 1931. The restaurant then moved to the heavily Jewish Fairfax district in 1948, eventually settling into the old Esquire Theater. Countless celebrities have stopped by, including President Obama. Cantor's also has a popular bar, the Kibitz Room, which features live music. In December, tragedy struck when co-owner Gary Canter died unexpectedly of a heart attack. He was planning the anniversary up till his death.
He would love nothing more than for the show to go on, and I'm sure he's smiling up there right now.
Then outside, almost like a miracle, the pouring rain suddenly stopped, and this rainbow appeared over the restaurant. Perhaps a sign from above? Here's the final message from below.
So come down, you'll have a great, meal, and it's fantastic.
From Cantors Deli, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Cantors also has a bakery counter which sells very popular chocolate arugula. To the Batmobile and to Pink's Hot Dogs on La Brea, where former boy wonder Burt Ward gets the ultimate weenie honor. Gil Reyes has more from Pink's. Gil.
Well, Yana, I'm sure you've heard of the Hero Sandwich. Well, here at Pink's Hot Dogs, the world famous Pink's Hot Dogs, they have their own superhero dog dedicated to America's #1 hero sidekick.
Now, these are really special, all right? I mean, these are superhero dogs.
On television, he played Batman's crime-fighting companion, Robin the Boy Wonder. But in real life, actor Burt Ward is a hero, too.
For the last 23 years, my wife and I have rescued more than 15,000 dogs. We operate the largest giant breed dog rescue in the world, called Gentle Giants. And I like to say I was the Cape Crusader, and now I am the Canine Crusader. So they thought, gee, you're so involved with dogs, why not be involved with a hot dog? Holy creative stretch.
Pink's on La Brea, on unveils the official Burt Robin Ward dog, a 9-inch wiener with sauerkraut, onions, and mustard. The unveiling also coincides with the opening of the Batman 66 exhibit at the Hollywood Museum.
Oh, we're so thrilled to be honoring Burt Ward with his very own hot dog. Everybody has fond memories of the series, with Robin, and he's our superhero.
Last year, City Hall lit up the bat signal to honor the life of Batman actor Adam West, who passed away in June. Fighting on the side of good continues long after the 60s series ended. Burt Ward and his wife Tracy say their all-natural Gentle Giants dog food can extend a dog's life to 27 years.
We want everybody who loves their dogs to be able to have a chance for their dog to live as long as our dogs are living.
And the couple says all proceeds from Gentle Giants go to charity. How's that for heroism? Holy hot dog. At Pink's Hot Dogs on La Brea, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And as you just heard, a new Batman exhibit just opened up at the Hollywood Museum, giving fans a chance to see some rare memorabilia up close. Rasha Goel takes us to opening night.
Holy Batmobile. It is the first ever Batman 66 exhibit featuring costumes and props from the original 1966 Batman series. Now, what is so unique about this exhibit is that these are items that have not been seen since the original series aired. You're looking at the Batmobile right now, but there are costumes, there are props. I mean, there is so much here to see, and I can tell you this, there is definitely something for everyone to check out. Toys, original scripts, and fun props. All classic pieces that refresh childhood memories for some and are new and exciting for others.
I'm feeling very nostalgic. In fact, I was so young when I originally watched Batman. When he would have fights, he and Robin would fight and it would say pow or blam or kabam. My mom had to read it to me because I didn't read yet.
I'm a fan of the newer Batman, like the Lego Batman video games and the Lego Batman movie, and this really has inspired me to look at the original Batman series.
You'll never get away with this, Riddler.
Would you like to make a little wager?
After all, who can forget the dynamic duo with the late Adam West, who played Batman, and Burt Ward, who played Robin?
I can't move my feet. I'm stuck to the floor.
Ward, who was at the opening night for the exhibit, filled us in on some fun memories from the show.
The director and the producers were so concerned about all the special effects, the explosions, the gas, the all kinds of contraptions, right? That they let Adam and I basically do what we wanted. We had a special chemistry. He had the most amazing comedic sense.
And one of my favorites, Catwoman. I had to ask Lee Merriweather, who played the sexy character in the 1966 film Batman, to show off her skills. And let's just say, even now, she's got something to purr about.
I was so lucky to work with those villains. I learned a lot of film etiquette.
Nothing else has ever brought a comic book to real life like the Batman series from the 60s. And even the high-tech movies, to me, don't do as good a job as the series from the 60s.
Batman 66 is an iconic exhibit featuring things from the show's 120 episodes on ABC, which aired from 1966 to 1968. Adam West may not be here today, but his work has left behind a legacy which will be celebrated and remembered for years to come.
To the Batmobile.
I'm ready to go to the Batmobile.
All right.
Let's go. In Hollywood, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Batman 66 runs through March. Well, the holiday season may be over, but the gift of giving continues as the Pico Union community celebrated a cultural tradition. Rasha Goel has more.
About 300 people showed up to celebrate Dia de los Reyes in the Pico Union neighborhood. This holiday is celebrated by the Hispanic community and represents the day the three wise men gave gifts to Jesus Christ. And according to tradition, it's a day of exchanging gifts between people. And there is more.
We have the traditional rosca de Reyes, which is like the king's bread, which is eaten this day, and whoever gets like a doll inside of the piece of bread, it has to do a party in February 2nd. So that's the tradition. We're just promoting culture, and we're promoting the traditions of the Latin American and Central American communities.
Children at this event also received toys.
Seeing all these children, all these families here, it's amazing for me. Amazing. Incredible.
The event was held by Council District 1 in collaboration with the local neighborhood association and the LAPD.
It's a perfect opportunity for the police department, especially the division, Olympic division, to come out here, get involved, and to support this event and mingle with the community.
And for those in this neighborhood, it's a day to honor traditions while celebrating present-day living. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
LAPD officials say events such as these also help build stronger and more open relationships between residents and law enforcement. A new proposal seeks to provide temporary shelter on city property for individuals experiencing homelessness. City leaders stand behind the immigrant community, and several streets in Mid-Wilshire are getting some improvements. All these stories in Citybeat. Los Angeles city leaders are planning to house dozens of homeless people in trailers on a city-owned downtown lot as a possible model for citywide temporary shelters. A proposal calls for installing 5 trailers on a parking lot at Arcadia and Alameda Streets by the beginning of summer. The trailers would house about 67 people and target the homeless who sleep on the sidewalks in the area around the historic El Pueblo site off of Main Street. The shelter would operate for 3 years with the hope that residents placed there would move on to permanent housing within 6 months. If approved by the City Council, the initiative to provide temporary shelter would mark a new strategy for the city, which has focused primarily on encouraging the construction of permanent housing through $1.2 billion in voter-approved bonds. Garcetti said he hopes temporary housing can be placed on other city properties throughout Los Angeles to help serve the estimated 25,000 people who live on the streets. The city is also looking at proposed regulations to use existing hotels and motels for supportive housing and/or transitional housing. The City Council also approved 4 immigration proposals, sending the Trump administration a clear signal that the city stands with its immigrant populations. The items approved include legal action due to the administration's decision to end DACA, support for the TPS program, support for the state's border wall legislation, and a new program that provides letters of representation for undocumented Angelenos as additional protection against ICE enforcement. The Bureau of Street Services repaved portions of 6th Street between La Brea and Fairfax Avenues in advance of planned roadway improvements. Councilmember David Rue's office said some of those improvements will include the installation of left-hand turn pockets, continental crosswalks, the extension of the single eastbound traffic lane from Fairfax Avenue to Curzon Avenue, and the extension of red curbs to increase visibility for north and southbound traffic. Further improvements have not yet been scheduled, but will be coming to that portion of 6th Street this year. Well, there's a new place to shop in town, and it's outdoors. Welcome to the first ever Arroyo Seco Marketplace. Anna Marcos takes us there.
Step into a whole new way of enjoying nature while shopping for goods. This is the first ever Arroyo Seco Marketplace put on by the Audubon Center in Debs Park, and it features 20 local artisans and artists and their goods.
I brought my 2 kids and some friends with me, and we love this whole spot. I like the focus on sustainability, on local crafts and businesses.
Audubon Center here wants to support the local economy by inviting local artists to come out and vend, and we're supporting Small Business Day.
Rugs, clothes, jewelry, decorations, artwork, and more. All made by local artists, many who live in the community.
I made artwork inspired by the wildlife found all around Los Angeles. For me, this is one of few opportunities that I have to connect in person with people who are interested in both art and wildlife, and it's so much more meaningful to shop for something when you get to know the person behind the artwork.
This Audubon Center was the first ever built in an urban area in 2003.
What we do is we connect the neighborhood to nature. We have 282 acres here. We lead community hikes. We do bird walking.
So get your wallet and your hiking shoes and sun hats ready. The center plans to make this a twice-a-year event in winter and in summer. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And in keeping with its nature focus, the Audubon Center at Debs Park is LEED certified for environmental sustainability. Well, it's the biggest night on Broadway, and you're invited. Support your local parks by running in a half marathon, and here's your chance to visit your favorite museum for free. All this in this week's Things to Do. Councilmember Jose Huizar announced that the legendary 80s band the B-52s will headline the main Broadway stage for his Night on Broadway Street Festival. Lots of other performers and acts will be featured at the free Eclectic Music, Entertainment, and Arts Festival in downtown Los Angeles and in the $1 Million Theater, recalling the golden age of Mexican cinema and music. Night on Broadway will feature programming across 6 historic theaters and 4 outdoor stages. Last year's Night on Broadway drew more than 75,000 people. The festivities take place on Saturday, January 27th from 3 p.m. to midnight. Get ready, set, go for the 4th annual Community Road Race in Griffith Park supporting LA's 440 parks. You'll be taking part in a half marathon and 5K road race in Griffith Park, organized by the LA Parks Foundation and the Los Angeles City Department of Recreation and Parks. The foundation is dedicated to promoting and enhancing the city's public park system. The event benefits the LA Parks Foundation and all proceeds support LA City Parks. So lace up your running shoes and hit the road on Sunday, January 28th at 7 a.m. For registration, visit runningguru.com. Clear your calendar for Museums Free for All Sunday. More than 24 museums in the LA area will offer free admission, not including specially ticketed exhibitions or parking, allowing local residents an amazing opportunity to check out the culture of their city free of charge. You can see anything from art to natural history and science. Participants for this year include many locations that are not normally free, such as the Natural History Museum, LACMA, Mocha, and Descanso Gardens, along with museums that regularly offer free admission, such as both Getty campuses and the Broad. It all takes place Sunday, January 28th. For more, visit socalmuseums.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.